Hey, Internet. We are here for another virtual online ballroom dance. Well, theory class today. We're talking a little shop instead of doing the DVDs because we have sort of a general listing on the calendar and we haven't really set up with you guys how we're going to do that voting. So, for today, I'm going to talk about ballroom, the family of dances, how it differs from the other, and how the studio itself is kind of found its home in ballroom dancing. So, first, at the highest level, ballroom it can either be competitive or social. And when we say competitive, we can also use franchise or standardized to describe that learning environment. And essentially, what that means is you have a curriculum of a certain list of steps, and they're the same steps that everybody learns in that system. And if you are competing, those are the steps that are allowed when you're competing. On the social side, we are striving more for the experience being different every single time. That instead of a specific shape that a motion is meant to take, the theories on the social side is that you're matching whoever you're dancing with at whatever place, either training or ability that they are at. So, on one side, in my experience, the franchise studios, the standardized ballroom dancing, you have everyone's trying to become the same shape so that the shapes are compatible with each other. Versus the social, where once you're operating under the I can dance with another person, then you can make it your own, or you can cater to their natural movements or habits, and you end up with a lot of new and different and unique and malleable shapes and uses of the dance. So rather than a list of steps, we have what we call our building blocks, and these are sort of the theories in any given dance that make a dance true. So that's the main difference between our social and our competitive sides of ballroom dancing. Now, for actual dances, then the actual dances fall into categories of, depending on how you divide it, either smooth and Latin and rhythm. And then ours are also broken up by speed, slow, medium, fast, and by whether or not they're traveling dance or stationary dance, or both. And so we'll just start with kind of rattling off dances, and I think we'll try and go from the ones we use commonly first. We'll talk about those, and then we'll get to more of the periphery ones. So most teaching systems consider the Ballroom Core to be foxtrot, waltz, rumba, cha-cha, and East Coast swing. And in our case, that swing is usually a single swing. So the foxtrot is a medium speed traveling dance. Waltz is a medium or slow and can either be traveling or stationary. Rumba is medium to medium slow and is usually stationary. Cha-cha is medium to medium fast, and it is also stationary. And swing is usually medium fast or fast, and that's also a stationary dance. So of our core five, foxtrot and waltz are going to be the main two if you're trying to travel around the room. So all of the other dances do have tools for that, but it won't be kind of built into the core of how the dance is used. So then we've got our smooth versus our Latin there. So smooth dances, obviously foxtrot and waltz. Latin dances would be rumba and cha-cha. And the swing is sort of its own in the rhythm family for us. So the East Coast single swing also finds itself in the unique position of being both in the ballroom family as well as the circuit swing family. So when we're talking about Lindy, Charleston, Balboa, and blues, this East Coast single swing will also be in that grouping as well. So we've got foxtrot, waltz, rumba, cha-cha, swing, and then our next tier of ballroom dances is probably going to be like your tango, West Coast swing, hustle, samba, mambo, and sometimes the two-steps are in there. Nightclub two-step is a ballroom dance as well as a country dance. West Coast swing is a ballroom dance as well as a country dance as well as a club dance. So you've got a few different options there. So with those, your tango is a smooth dance, and it's kind of both a traveling dance and a stationary dance. It has elements that do both of those things. Samba is a faster dance, and it has syncopation. It's a Latin and also kind of a rhythm dance. And generally, as a social dance, it will be mostly stationary, although it does have movements that travel you at length. You've got the hustle is sort of a swingy kind of a shape. That's a syncopated rock step. Generally, you've got that in the medium fast to fast again range. And you've got bolero, which is a Latin dance. Bolero and rumba are the smoothest of the Latin dances. They both rotate through the slow. And actually, bolero and nightclub two-step are a dance to almost the identical music, with the exception of the bolero taking the bass and the nightclub 2 taking the top rock, which means that nightclub 2 will always be exactly twice as fast as a bolero. So you'll find in bolero, if it gets to be too slow, you can double it up and do a nightclub two-step or sometimes a rumba. And likewise, if your nightclub two-step becomes too fast, you can drop it down and it'll become a pretty easy bolero for you. So that's kind of the musical spectrum of those two dances. Let's see. We have got mambo is sort of a sharp salsa equivalent. It's sort of a cross between salsa and the ballroom cha-cha. And it's not the ballroom version of mambo is not used as much socially. And then let's see. Polka is a ballroom dance as well. It's also not done as commonly, and it's going to be a rhythm dance with triples, but it does definitely travel as well. So, all right. Let's talk about the building blocks versus learning patterns and steps. So for the QC Soda and partnered system of dance, the building blocks tend to not be steps. So even though dances like waltz and rumba have half a box as a building block, that's a system of movements that on your first movement it's a travel, on the second movement it's a side, and the third movement it's a bring your feet together. That's the assumption as a block of things that happens regardless of what the step is going to be. So your building blocks can be spatial, like in a salsa. They can be spatial rhythm, which is going to be like your foxtrot, which means that how you move through space tells you if it's going to be slows or quicks. So you can have some changes in the rhythm. You've got things like momentum and swing, but you have these more abstract ideas that you're using to build movements that are true, more importantly than building specific movements that you'll have to memorize in sequence. So it's a little bit different learning style there for using the building blocks. But there again, if you can see sort of the principles of what another dancer is doing on the floor, you can change those building blocks in and out very easily and create something that matches whoever you're going to be dancing with. So, well, that has been a little bit of theory for ballroom. I hope you guys are doing awesome and getting to dance in your homes a little bit. So, miss you guys. And if you can support us on Patreon, we really appreciate it. That's the main way we're keeping the studio going right now. And hopefully you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, Internet.